name's Tony Sama. Welcome to the 5 Quests. It's about health, wealth, success, tax, and travel. Grab a cold drink, sit back and relax. Welcome aboard. It's about small business. It's about what's good in small business. And what was funny is my wife just played in a golf tournament. She made these beautiful hats. And the beautiful hats that she had said happy birthday. It was a happy birthday golf tournament, and it's really, really nice stuff. And I wanted to bring the hats out here today because, no, really, because what happened was the 2013 season for small businesses is like a rebirth. I mean, I don't know if you really realize it or not, but everybody in the whole United States wants to go ahead and start a small business now because of what's happening in the economy, because of what's happening in the taxation, what's happening in our government. Everybody has to do something different. So which brings me to the point. I saw this coming in 2008, actually 7 when the economy started to bust. My wife broke her, not break it, she had a knee operation. She couldn't walk for like 60 days. I couldn't leave her side because I had to help her get out of the chair. So I really couldn't do too much work. So I decided to sit down. I got tired of people asking me the same questions over and over again. I said, you know, if I just put it in a manuscript, let's start there. And it ended up becoming a book that's evolving now. We're going back 4 years ago. 4 years ago, you know, I had this vision of where this country was going, where the tax laws were going, where small business was going. And my wife says, you're a visionary, you're always 4 to 5 years ahead of the curve. Which is true. I see these things and I don't know why. It's a gift. But at the same time, I think it's a curse. So what I did was I started to write a book to help all my tax clients, to help all the people I was involved in business with. And now when the question comes up, and I say it, you know, in some of the seminar videos, they're going there, I just say, hey, read this, okay? After you read it, give me a holler, I'll go ahead, I will give you, give me a call, let me know that you read it, and then we'll talk about either what's balanced, out of balance, I should say, in your life. Is it health, wealth, success, tax, or travel? Or spirituality, which I call the ultimate quest. But there are 5 quests in the book. The 6th quest, which should be the first quest, okay, is up to you. That's your own personal spirituality. But you have to realize that these principles now are 4 years old. So when you watch the video, that was 4 years ago. When you read the book, that was done 4 years ago. It's like it's today. There's things in this video that hadn't happened yet that I basically saw it coming. So we're going to start, and I'm going to give you a real quick education on really what the 5 quests are. There are certain advantages to having a home-based business, and I'm going to show you a video done by probably one of the most leading tax advisors in the country. I look up to him. He's like a mentor. And this guy, he worked for the IRS for several years, but he was with them, he was with the IRS, worked with them for many years. So the first thing here is that seeing is believing. You know, there's a statement made by, it's a very old statement by the way, and I'll tell you who said it in a minute. It's once you know, you no longer have to believe. But you must see first to believe. That was Buddha, by the way. That goes back a ways. And one of the things I believe is we all have a set of eyes. Just like the eyes of a video camera. And if you put yourself in that frame of mind, when you live your life, it's like your movie is playing out for you in front of you. It's your screenplay. They're your actors. You're the director. You can change these scenes anytime you want. It's up to you to make that change. But it's your movie. So remember, when you are helping people, they only see their screenplay or movie as a blockbuster in their own eyes. You know, and one of the seminars I went to, they did a little skit. One guy wore blue shaded glasses, another one red shaded glasses. The guy was wearing a white shirt. He said, what color is my shirt? Well, the guy with the blue shaded glasses said it's blue. The ones with the pink shaded glasses said it's pink. He said, now take off your glasses. And they did. Now what color is my shirt? And they both said white. So your job as a small business person is to go out and help people and realize that we all see things through our shaded glasses. And your goal is to get them to see things the way that they really are. We're all molded in certain ways. Your life, your health, your choice. A good friend of mine asked me this question, and I'll never forget it. He was at one of the first, it was the first seminar I believe I did. He was there, and he asked me this question that more or less made me really think about what I do every day. Is what you're doing today going to get you where you're going tomorrow? And I'll bet you if you just step back and you ask that question, you'll answer it yourself. I don't have to answer that question for you. Okay? It's a real simple answer. It's your answer. It's not mine. It's in your movie. Okay? Next, there's an evolution going on. The evolution is basically that people are just like ants. And if you believe in Darwin's theory of evolution or you don't, I'm going to give you a little scenario. People follow people, correct? Ants follow the other ants. If the ants walk into the fire, the rest of the ants usually will follow. But some ants won't go in the fire, just like some people won't go in a direction that some other people are leading them. You know, but if you go ahead and a person believes in you, they'll drink sand and not even know it's sand. So you better know what you're doing, because you don't want your people drinking sand. But those ants that survived, or those people that thought differently, they evolved. They're different. Their makeup's different. They're going to go on and they're going to create more resiliency in that, you know, in their family, in their business. I mean, why do you think that, hey, you get Donald Trump's kids? Do you think he gives them money? No, his father didn't give Donald Trump money. Donald Trump actually had to go out on his own. Now, eventually, Donald Trump's father did invest in him. So yeah, it does help to have that, but the bottom line is Donald Trump had to do what Donald Trump did. Not that I'm an avid Donald Trump fan, I just think he's great at what he does. You know, and he says it the way it is. He ain't going to lead people into the sand. There are 4 ways or 4 methodologies to think. And you're going to, this is real important when we get into the small business mindset. The first way is an employee mindset. Employees, they have a job. They work and trade time for X amount of dollars per hour, and they want benefits or entitlements. The second way is the self-employed individual. They basically own a job. I'm a self-employed individual when it comes to tax and accounting, but I choose to do things different, which I understand that I only have so much time. Time is money. I can only go so far based on my time. We go to the next slide. I'd rather think like a business owner. This is where you own a system. By the way, this is a system. This system will teach people to think a certain way. The system of whatever company you're in, or that you promote, or that you have a business, I hope you create a system for your business, because this is where people help you leverage your time and make you money. It's the best way a business mindset should be. The third way is once you go ahead and you make a whole, or I'm sorry, the fourth way of making money is to use money to invest to make money, and that's called an investor. So you're leveraging your money to make more money. Now, on the left side of the quadrant that you see here, that left side, the employee mindset, the self-employed mindset, they only share 5% of the wealth in America. How's that? I mean, is that where you want to be? Or the right side of the quadrant shares 95% of the wealth in America. Actually, the world. Hit it again. Guess what? Only 95%, I'm sorry, 95% of the population is on the left side, and hit it again, and 5% is on the right side. Which, or where? Which half do you want to be in? It's a real simple thing once I got this. I realized that I shouldn't pay attention to 95% of the things I hear all day. So you better pay attention to those 5%ers and be able to go ahead and identify them real quick out there, real quick. Because they, remember, if I take the average sum of the 10 people that you spend all your time with, okay, you are going to become the average sum of those 10 people. That's how really crazy it is. What is freedom for life? This one here is a mindset. Put in your mind real quick. Income today, income tomorrow, income for life. Everybody, and this is like crawl, walk, run. You can't get to any one of those other two without the first one in front of it. The income today is your daily need to pay for yourself, your bills, your house, your simple stuff in life that you want to, your living expenses. Income tomorrow is what we work for in order to better our life, no matter what we do. And you're going to see today, in a movie or a video in a second, why an average couple that's making $40,000 a year and his wife goes out to work to make another $20,000, why it doesn't make sense to do that unless you do it a certain way. And wait till you see that. It woke me up. Because nobody has ever put this 2 and 2 together. Okay? Think of them as crawling, walking, running. The secret to success is what you don't know that you don't know. It's in the book. I'm not going to go into it, but it's about balance. Okay? It's that thing you don't know about riding a bicycle that you don't see, you can't feel. And when we were young, we didn't know what it was till we got on the bike and experienced it. And that what you don't know was balance. That you didn't know was balance. It's all about balance. Your life is the same way. If you don't have the 5 areas of your life balanced, which is health, wealth, success, tax, and travel, I don't care which is out of balance, you're not going to succeed. They all have to be in balance. And boy, let me tell you something. I am a victim, just like everybody else, of this economic downturn. My book that I wrote in 2008 helped me to rebalance my life after the dive of the economy, after all these things hit people, after the mortgage industry collapsed, after real estate values, investments I had. Guess what? I'm happier now than I've ever been. Because this book, my book, saved me. It became a tool that I used to become an example again in this book. And now I'm starting to realize that there's a lot more to life than just balancing. Everybody's an individual. Wake up, stop worrying, determine your why, set some goals, have a plan, seek counsel. Make sure you have a plan that, you're not getting on a plane to go to Miami and you get on the wrong flight and you end up in San Francisco. And people do it every day, and I don't know why. They get on the wrong plane, they have no plan, and they just walk on a plane and they end up somewhere they didn't want to be. Think a 2 to 5 year plan and learn balance. Next. Now these are the 5 quests that I just went through. I just wanted to give you a little synopsis of what was in this book. And now what we're going to do is we're going to focus tonight on Tax Quest, which is dear to my heart being an accountant. And there's more to just than taxation than just fill out a form at year end. It is something that you plan your whole life with that can throw your whole life out of balance if it's not correct. And I know a lot of people that have come to me out of balance in that area. And it also is everybody's trying to make a living today, but they go out and find a job, which is okay, but wait till you see the reasons why. You may not want to do that.
Hi, this is Sandy Botkin, author of the best-selling book, Lower Your Taxes Big Time. Over the past 20 years, I have taught thousands of home-based business owners how to save millions on their taxes. I spent 3 years in the tax department of the international accounting firm Touche Ross, and also 5 years as a legal specialist in the Office of the Chief Counsel for the Internal Revenue Service. Currently, I'm the CEO of the Tax Reduction Institute. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to explain why you'd be brain dead not to have a home-based business. I believe you will find that this is going to be the most important 4 minutes of your life when it comes to your financial future. So you may want to take some notes and put aside anything that might distract you. First of all, I want to emphasize something right up front. The rich know something that most people don't know. They have a secret. And the secret is that we have 2 tax systems in the United States. Now when I say that, most people think that there's one for the rich and one for the poor. And that's not quite true. There's one to make you rich, and then there's one to make you poor. There's one for employees, which is designed to take your wealth and make you poor, because you are taxed on $1. And then there's one for self-employed individuals, which is designed to create economic growth. And the reason for that is that small business generates over 70% of the job growth in North America. It is not IBM, it's not Microsoft or American Airlines, it's small business. So Congress passes good tax laws for small business. In fact, the important point is that small business get to take deductions first before they pay any taxes. Unlike employees who have to pay taxes on $1. You can save big money by taking advantage of these good tax laws. And these laws are available to you in business, whether it's in full-time business or part-time, or just in your spare time. It doesn't matter as long as you run your business with an honest expectation of profit, which means you're really trying to make money. In fact, if you know what you're doing in a small business, you have the potential to write off part of your house, your spouse, the equivalent of your kids' education and weddings. I'm not kidding when I say that, by the way. You can set up a pension plan that makes any government plan seem paltry by comparison. The potential is just enormous. Good proof of this was illustrated by a lady named Jane Bryan Quinn. Jane Bryan Quinn is a nationally syndicated economist. And you've heard of her, she was a nationally known commentator on personal finance, with books and columns read and trusted by millions. She did a study of a couple who made $40,000 a year. And $40,000 didn't go that far. So the husband said to the wife, honey, you gotta go out and get a job, which she did, and she made an extra $20,000. Now they're looking at their bank account, and they see no difference at the end of the year. I mean, she's making $20,000 more than she made the year before. What's going on? Did you ever hear that you have to have two incomes to make it in this country? Do you know why? You're about to get a 6-month financial planning course in the next few minutes. Follow along as I show you why the extra job was the wrong decision. The following example is based on 2009 tax rates. On that $20,000, they have to pay $4,845 in new federal and state taxes. Most of that is non-deductible. They have to pay Social Security of 7.65%. On $20,000, that's $1,530 of Social Security, which is non-deductible. We assume that they drove 10 miles a day round trip. And that's probably pretty conservative, I think. But let's go with that. 10 miles a day, round trip, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, at IRS's current 55-cent a mile rate. That's $1,430 of commuting, which is non-deductible. We assume lunch is at work, and we assume that they spent $7 a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. That's $1,750 of lunches, which is non-deductible. We assume that you have to have clothing, better clothing, in fact, if you're working, more upkeep, because now you're working, you're going to have more dry cleaning, and that's gone up by at least $1,200 over not working. And finally, with both spouses working, you think they want to cook? Heck no! They want to eat out. Where their food costs have gone up by at least $2,000. And what about child care? I bet you they spend at least $125 a week in our example. I'm not sure we can get child care for 3 kids for $125. But $125 a week, 50 weeks a year is $6,250 in child care. Most of that is non-deductible. In fact, we get us a little bit of a credit on that. Out of the $20,000 that they've earned from the part-time job, they are only left with a staggering $995 a year. They're putting in tons of hours working, they're putting up with a commute, and they're putting up with a boss that is spelled backwards, double S-O-B. You know, I know it sounds funny, but it really isn't. And people are working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and nobody is able to watch the kids. So what's the answer? The answer is to take advantage of the greatest tax write-offs available in America. And that is by having a home-based business and working that business like a business. Nothing can be better than that. Because if you know what you're doing, you can write off, as I mentioned, part of your house, your spouse, the equivalent of your kids' education and weddings. You can set up a pension plan that makes any government plan seem paltry by comparison, and there's much more than just the tax benefits. For example, you get tremendous time freedom. You can work out of your home. You dictate your own hours and not be subject to the boss's whims. If you need to go somewhere, or go to your kids' basketball games, or go to your sons or daughters' music lessons or concerts, you can do that. There's no commute. There's no liability, or very little liability with home-based businesses. You don't have any employees. And you can make unlimited income. That's probably the most important factor for having a home-based business. There is no glass ceiling of any type. Having a home-based business is probably the smartest thing that anyone can do. And what amazes me is that people will work overtime to try to get ahead in a company, when frankly they should be putting in as little time as possible to avoid getting fired and getting a part-time home-based business going. Who knows? Maybe that business will generate enough money where you can quit your job altogether. Wouldn't that be nice? That's the point. Having a home-based business will generate enormous benefits for yourself and your family. It's something you should really consider, and it will make your life a lot less taxing. I would strongly encourage you to carefully evaluate and get started with your own home-based business today. The tax benefits are incredible, but a home business has so much more to offer. Extra income, being your own boss, financial security, setting your own hours, working from the comfort of your home, more time with family, and the list goes on and on. Most importantly, you are working on your dream instead of someone else's. Now that's the beautiful thing.
Anybody that wants to see that video again, it's on a website, and you can write this down. You can go there, you can view the video as many times as you want, because, God, I did it, because there's a lot in there, and I wanted to make sure what he was talking about really did make sense. And after I evaluated it, this is many years ago, this video is not new, these concepts are not new. This thing goes back about 5-6 years. So you can get to that website at tmi.firstclassteam.com. And you'll be able to, go through there and watch the video, and there's a couple other videos there that you might want to take a look at. You can feel free to go to my site at tonysalmon.com, and we can go ahead and basically, you can see all kinds of what we do and how we do it, and help you coach in your business, coach you, teach you tax strategies, how to implement them. Let's go to now, this workshop is all about, and I want people to walk away from here. Now, if you notice, I put on your table, I put a summary of the new health care law changes known as Obamacare. A lot of people in business today don't know how that's going to affect them, and neither do I, unless you come and see us and I can evaluate your business and how it fits into this particular box. It's a box. I know one thing, it's going to cost people money, because our government has implemented this where they want everybody covered by health care, whether your employer pay for it, you pay for it, or you get penalized for not having it, and that's going to happen. They said it wasn't an additional tax. Well, when you penalize somebody through the Internal Revenue Service, is that a tax? It's a tax. The Supreme Court said it's a tax. Okay? So, you have these on here. I want you to take them with you. And we're going to go through some of the other things that on January 1st, 2013, you might have heard this on New Year's Day, our government stopped everything from going off the physical cliff. Remember that? Well, what does that mean? Half people don't even really know. They don't know how it's going to affect their life. Okay, to be honest with you, I didn't pay attention to it until it went on, was getting close to the physical cliff. What's that going to mean? And I understand now why they had to do what they did.